Hey everyone, here we have the Lenovo ThinkPad T14S. Now it is no secret on this channel, I have a little bit of a love affair with the ThinkPad series notebooks. First off, they have a long heritage. It's one of the first laptops that I can even remember using. They were, basically starting to belt these out back in the Tandy days of computer making. But ultimately, IBM and then Lenovo has just kept this around as sort of this bulletproof, kind of like Toyota of platforms. There's a ton of parts available for these machines. They're built really well. They're serviceable. They're all around just an awesome computer for regular users, business people, casual users alike. So anyway, what we want to find out today though is if this brand new ThinkPad T14S is still adhering to the brilliant formula of the days of yore. And if you should buy one yourself. Let's get some specs out of the way really quick. This particular unit comes with the Ryzen 5 5650U processor. It also comes with 8 gigabytes of RAM and a 256 gigabyte solid state drive, NVMe. Now sadly, there is one Achilles heel with the specs of this ThinkPad, and that is that the RAM is not user upgradable. So you can either buy it with 8, 16, or 32 gigabyte configuration, but once you settle on the one you want, that's the one you have forever. The NVMe drive is upgradable, but they didn't do that with the RAM, and this is a common thing that Lenovo is doing, kind of mimicking the likes of Apple, and I just don't quite understand why they're doing that. That said, 8 gigabytes is probably enough for like most people doing their business related tasks. However, we only rated this a 3 out of 5 because in terms of specs to price ratio, it is lagging behind a little bit, and that is kind of disappointing. See, the thing is Lenovo sort of rests on the laurels of the ThinkPad, knowing that it's pretty much their best computer that they sell. And of course, there's a variety of different flavors of the ThinkPads. But anyway, I just kind of think that they could have given you you can get these now on Lenovo's website for $599. And I just kind of think that like, for what you're paying for, they could have given you maybe like 16 gigs of RAM, maybe a little bit of extra storage, you get the idea. But anyway, that aside, it performs very, very well. I'm not going to benchmark this one. We do benchmark some of the computers on our channel, but the people that are buying this notebook just take it at face value that it's a very fast, peppy machine. And if you do a lot of multitasking, you will want to upgrade the RAM. Again, if you need more storage, you'll want to upgrade the NVMe. But ultimately, this is a very quick, very functional business and casual computer. So again, we're not going to benchmark it to get any official numbers because it's a fast machine and that's all you really need to know. LCD screen on it is awarded a 4 out of 5. Now, I do think that that's a little bit of a stretch. It's a 14-inch full high-definition non-touch IPS display. Beautiful color gamut, very good brightness, and it's got a matte display, so basically if you're underneath the direct light, sunlight, etc. and so forth, you'll be able to see this thing pretty darn well. It's non-touch panel, but everything is just very sharp and clear, very true whites, very deep blacks. I just really like the panel a lot. It doesn't have any kind of meaningful HDR support, and the resolution on it is starting to be a little bit antiquated at FHD, so I don't know, I'm giving it a 4 out of 5 because it's a great panel for what it is, but again, I'm just kind of thinking Lenovo, just sort of it's that ThinkPad, let's just get a little extra going on here. Keyboard on it is a 5 out of 5. It is tactile, all the buttons are in a fantastic place. Very curious, this is a Lenovo, and instead of saying the infamous Lenovo caps lock button, they for some reason never put the OC on there, but this one actually says caps lock. Very curious, but not at all pertinent. Anyway, doesn't have a full-size keyboard, of course, because it's a smaller laptop, but it does have a backlight on it. So if you're typing on a dark airplane, in a dark room, whatever, you do have the backlight, and that's pretty nice. But otherwise, it's just a very great keyboard for typists, journalists, bloggers, etc., and so forth. Trackpad on it is a 4 out of 5. It could do to be slightly bigger. They have the tactile buttons on top, which is very common for all of the ThinkPad, and of course you've got the red nipple on it as well. I'm torn. A lot of people on this channel love the red nipple, and hey, I'm not going to yuck your yum. If you like it, great. I personally don't use the red nipple anymore. I'm a dad now, so you know, no more nipple for me. As far as the buttons on the trackpad are concerned, I mean, I get it. I get why they're there. But I just sort of feel like Lenovo should focus on making the best trackpad they possibly could. But ultimately, it's very accurate. It doesn't really ghost that bad. And the click, if not just a little too deep, is very satisfying and accurate and tactile. So good trackpad. I/O on it is where I get, again, a little bit bummed out, maybe. On this side, we have a micro Kensington lock, because everyone uses Kensington lock. We've got a USB 3.2 port there. We have another USB 3.2 Gen 1 HDMI 2.0, and then we have two USB-C 3.2 Gen 2 ports on it, and then of course a TRRRS jack. And you do charge this thing on USB-C because it doesn't run on solar energy. However, I kind of just wish they gave you a little, like some Thunderbolt 4 action, but they didn't. So I/O is going to be awarded like a 4 out of 5, I guess. A lot of stuff, just not enough. And you will also be maybe a little bit disappointed in the fact that it doesn't have a camera card reader on it, which, you know, I'm going to say, forget it. I'm going to throw a curveball here. Gets a 3 out of 5. You know, Lenovo, you made me angry. Speakers on it. Good highs. Not the best lows and not the best mids. Don't distort, which is pretty good, and they get reasonably loud enough to where as a single person using the laptop it should be fine, but like if you're trying to play audio for a group setting it may not quite be loud enough. If you're an audiophile you will want a set of headphones to plug into this thing. You know, most laptop speakers these days are kind of disappointing, but they're definitely not the worst I've heard, so 3 out of 5 I think is a pretty fitting rating for it. Features on it is also where it sort of takes a step back slightly. It does have a fingerprint reader. It does not have a Windows Hello compatible camera, but it does have a 720p res camera for, you know, doing office related tasks. Here's what that footage looks like now. Here we have the webcam of the Lenovo ThinkPad T14S. It's a little, I don't know, disappointing. It's a 720p camera. It looks it. It'll definitely work for like Zoom and business Skype, that kind of stuff, but ultimately, it's getting to the point now where it is 2023. These sorry excuse for non-Up HD cameras shouldn't be in laptops. So anyway, it's good, but not great. It does have a privacy shutter built into it as well. It has Wi-Fi 6, it has Bluetooth 5.1, so it's super equipped for all of the latest modern wireless technologies. It does have a backlight on the keyboard. It doesn't have any HDR support, doesn't have a touchscreen or anything like that either. So feature-wise, you know, you buy this computer knowing that it's not going to have a bunch of bells and whistles and luxuries, but that it's probably going to last like forever. So features get a 3 out of 5, but again, kind of just wish they, I don't know, maybe gave you a little bit of something extra. I'm not really sure what. Mobility on this thing. This thing weighs about 2.8 pounds. It is absolutely feather light. It has an incredibly stiff hinge that goes all the way flat. I love the hinges on this computer. It is a metal chassis as well, so it's going to absolutely take a beating. Practical battery life is going to be about 8 hours. By the way, did I mention that it's about 300 nits brightness? I am just bouncing back in this video. But anyway, that was grossly unprofessional. But it does about 8 hours of practical battery life. Lenovo claims you'll get all day out of it. I think you might be able to squeak that by if you cut off Wi-Fi and some other stuff, lower the screen brightness. But if you're bouncing between classrooms in and out of airports and stuff like that, where probably you'll have the ability to charge it on USB-C, then I think you're going to be fine. Battery life in and down is pretty solid. But mobility is awarded a 5 out of 5. And the reason why is just because this thing is built and acts like a tank. It feels good. It's lightweight. It's going to be a perfect laptop for throwing in and out of a bag, whether that's an airport, for college, that kind of thing. Who is this computer for? It's not for gamers. There's no kind of like super duper heavy hitting graphics card in there where you can knock out some RDR2 on high settings. No, but you can do some Minecraft and stuff like that, some small stuff. You can definitely do some 1080p video editing. I would not get anywhere near 4K on this thing. As far as audio editing is concerned, it does have enough horsepower, although you probably want a slightly bigger screen if you're doing some meaningful audio editing, but it does have enough audio or enough horsepower to do some like effects and stuff like that if you're working in like Fruity Loops and things. And of course you do have the USB-C jack where you can then plug in hubs, microphones, etc. and so forth. Photoshoppers, storage. Again, not a whole lot of storage for doing on-site or RAW or stuff like that. You would probably need to plug in like an external drive. And there's no camera card reader, so if you're a Photoshopper, I'd probably avoid this computer. Who is it for? I really think that it's for a college student that needs just something robust and reliable. And I think it's also maybe for like a businessman or woman that is somebody that travels a lot, needs something lightweight, that can take a beating, and is good to type documents on. That's who this machine is for. All in, that leaves this computer at like about a 3.5 score, something like that, maybe 3.5 to 3.75, somewhere in that range. Anyway, should have done the math prior to recording. But that is a good rating. Do I recommend it? Absolutely. If you're looking for something with bells and whistles, this ain't it. But it is a very, very good laptop. I do recommend it. I would buy one myself if I was in the market for something like it. So yeah, get it, enjoy it. and comment on what you think about it in the comments section. Please like and subscribe. Please tell your friends about this channel. And if you have any questions, let us know. Otherwise, we will be back with another video really soon.